Hello, pandas of the internet. My name is Panda-chan. I am a full-time artist-ish, a part-time cosplayer, and someone who really needs to find a better time and schedule for recording these. How many things need to go wrong in order for a story to be classified as a horror story? Because today we will be experiencing quite a couple of staples of RPG horror stories. So, if you're ready, sit back, grab a drink, and let's get into it. This RPG horror story was posted by Requiem in Gorilla, the Pathfinder game that went completely insane. Me and my friend were reminiscing about one of our old Pathfinder games that we had through Roll20 that went completely off rails, and had every single piece of RPG horror story you can think of. Murder hobo? Check. Obnoxious guy with main character syndrome? Check. But most importantly, a DM who thought of Pathfinder as a DM versus player game. Check. Oh, and he also introduced a couple of overpowered DMPCs for good measure. All of this said, I'll do my best recounting our game in a way that will make sense to someone who wasn't involved in this madness. But before we start, here are the important characters of the story, apart from the DM, Greg, the DM's best friend, and Luca, the murder hobo. We kicked off the adventure with a combination between the actual Jade Regent storyline and the Dungeon of the Pathfinder beginner box, where at the end we fought Blackfang, a young adult black dragon. And here, the DM probably wanted to pull off the trope of the desperate battle until the real hero arrives, since this was a completely one-sided battle where we couldn't do anything, because the DM added an aura that would instantly make you cower in fear if you dared to just look sideways at the dragon. So we were at its mercy until a level 10 plus something fighter came to our rescue and single-handedly defeated the dragon. Okay. Fast forward a couple of sessions and Greg's character gets lost, so we had to go back, losing an in-game week backtracking to where we last saw him, getting attacked by 4 poisonous drakes in the process, and risking a TPK. Finally, we found the guy. As weakened and torn up as we were, but then a fight ensues. Because turns out that this character was possessed by a demon, and in the very specific case where he gets abandoned by his companions, the demon would have taken over. We fought the guy, almost dying in the process again. Basically, Greg had willingly left behind his character to trigger this very specific condition, and the DM agreed to it, without even letting us know. Hey! Do you mind losing 2 whole sessions and days of in-game time to backtrack to the satisfaction of Greg? Maybe would have been appreciated. Needless to say, the whole party was pissed. And keep in mind that all the attention on Greg will be a reoccurring trend. After losing his character, Greg introduced a new one. An immortal skeleton that refused to fight or help the party in any way, but he had a firearm that could deal 40 damage on a bad roll. Oh, and he had a level 12 monk bodyguard. That's pretty cool, huh? But what if I told you that the DM had prepared an entire dungeon and city just for this character? This session lasted 6 hours. 5 of which took place inside the dungeon, for which I was too big to fit in, so the DM told me that I wouldn't be playing this session, and got pissed at me when I suggested that there was something I could use to reduce my size and fit in. Fast forward at the end of the dungeon, and it turns out that all of this was to introduce another of Greg's characters, a gargoyle paladin. At this point, me and Jeff straight up told the DM that our characters were going to kill themselves, to which the DM reacted by letting my character die, but saving Jeff's character and giving him a magic item. Finally, we arrive at Brimwell. Meanwhile, Greg's gargoyle left the party, the skeleton got accidentally killed by the DM, and Luce changed 4 characters after failing to kill party members and getting killed in the process every single time. At this point, Greg introduced a cleric with a flaming sword that would charge at anything that wasn't strictly human. You can imagine how that turned out. The DM introduced one of his DMPCs, a werewolf hunter, with 3 wolves, one of which was bigger and could turn invisible at will. Once Greg's paladin found out that the guy was a werewolf, a fight ensued, in which the DMPC obviously had the upper hand, but didn't return to the party afterwards. After starting the second chapter of the book, the DM introduced another character, a homebrew wolf-cat humanoid thing, Blood Rager, that he boasted about because it could do 300 plus damage in one hit, at level 4. But wait, there's more, because at this point he got bored of the campaign we were playing and completely derailed it by introducing the 4 horsemen, and made us fight their armies from time to time, at level 4. Isn't that balanced? What if I told you that in these fights he introduced other DMPCs to single-handedly defeat the armies? Pretty cool, huh? At this point I was so done with this game that I thought, you know what, frick this, let's play your game, and made an even more broken character than his, using the same bent rules that he used. So I introduced the character, which ended up pissing him off, and his DMPC power trip escalated to the point where he straight up introduced a level 20 wizard and made a spell scroll mind control his previous character, at which point he said, "Now you have to fight the spellcaster and my character." And with these words, the game has officially ended. That's incredible. I understand having powerful characters in the world. It makes me feel like the world is more fleshed out and it brings more depth to the environment. But my DMs have never used them to undermine our PCs or make us feel like we're not the main characters of the story. I don't think I would have lasted more than 2 sessions in that environment, to be fair. I do wonder if the DM just wanted to be a player himself, but with his min-maxing, I don't think I would be able to play at the same table with him. Overall, I do hope that everyone found a group that suits their playstyle in the end. With that, we have come to the end of the horror story. Leave me a like, subscribe, and in the comments tell me what the best Pathfinder class to min-max is. The link to the original story is in the description, so go give it a comment. You can find my social media links down there as well. And all of that being said, I will see you next time.